go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Worlds for Change and ASU XRts info session. My name is Stephanie Tomlin. I'm the Industry Relations Director for Mix Center. So we are going to be recording today's session. Let me just make sure that's happening. Yes, beautiful. We may or may not be joined by Patricia. Hopefully she can make it for the first bit. We'll see. But I also want to introduce Megan. Megan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's session. My name is Megan Coffin. I am the graduate coordinator for the 3 graduate programs that we have here at the ASU Mix Center.
Awesome. So our agenda for today, of course, we're going to cover all of your questions on Worlds for Change Challenge and how to apply. But first, we're going to take you through the XRts programs at Herberger Institute, chat a little bit more about what those initiatives are, and then we'll dig into how to apply and open it up for questions. So we'll keep this really casual. At any time, if you have a question, go ahead and drop it into the Q&A section. We'll keep an eye on those and try to kind of answer them in turn, but we'll, of course, save time at the end to make sure we don't miss anything. And at that point, you can raise your hand and, as well, just ask. So we'll go ahead and get started. So when we say XRts at the Herberger Institute, we mean everything to do with immersive media and extended reality arts, from virtual reality to, if you're Apple, spatial computing, immersive experience design, futures in design, AI-driven storytelling, everything needed to build incredible virtual worlds. And here we have a quote from Dean Stephen Tepper of the Herberger Institute, and why we're doing this all, which is to develop these new futuristic career paths, combining creative technologies so that these virtual worlds and all of the elements can be as empathetic and creative as possible. XRts at Herberger isn't just the graduate degrees or Worlds for Change. Worlds for Change is the amazing contest that we're running. We'll talk a little bit more about that soon. We have 4 new graduate degree programs, but we also have an immersive media fellowship that's all about driving BIPOC voices and supporting diverse new creators in the field. So we will be providing this deck. It's embedded in it are all of these different links, so you guys can check this out after the session. So the set of graduate degrees that are under the XRts umbrella are 2 MS degrees, an MSD, a Master's of Science in Design, and then an MA that's based in LA. So I will pass it to Megan to kind of intro those graduate programs that are based here at the Mix Center in Arizona.
Great. So like Stephanie mentioned, we've got 3 graduate programs that are based here at Mix. They are meant to work very collaboratively amongst the students in each separate degree, but there are 3 that we're featuring and going to talk about today. So the first one that we have is through the School for Arts, Media, and Engineering. That's our Extended Reality Technologies degree. So this is really great for students who do have that love for engineering, but also have that creative space. Some of the things that they would include, and that could be AI or software development, machine visioning, motion analysis, sensing. We have all of the technology and the tools for students who are interested in these types of technologies to be able to create experiences with that type of technology. This particular degree is a STEM designated degree, which I know for a lot of students is an important piece to look for. Our second degree that is through the design school, this is an MSD degree. This is the Immersive Experience Design degree. where students work within design as well as storytelling. We do have a lot of students who come from a lot of different backgrounds amongst these degrees, but a lot of user experience kind of background students, or students have an interest in that more traditional side, but really want to actually expand upon that and create more immersive types of technology in that user experience, spatial, environmental design, animation, like that, kind of on the entertainment side of things. Our third degree is actually outside of the Herberger Institute. It is through the School for Futures of Innovation in Society. And this degree is the Futures in Design degree. This is a degree that's made more for students that are interested in futures research, so seeing what these technologies can do in a positive way within communities, how to anticipate potential for negative outcomes and to keep those from happening. So really, all three of these degrees are meant to work collaboratively. We have classes that are required for each of the degree programs that have crossover amongst all three. So ideally, we would have students from each component adding their insight and their expertise into really each project that the students are working on. So for those of you who have not been to the Mix Center in downtown Mesa, this is a glimpse into what our building and space looks like. And you can see here, we'll talk a little bit about the technology in the space, but you can see here we have this outdoor screen. We're right in the heart of the downtown Mesa community, meant to be an active member of this downtown community and also a part of their ever-growing and expanding arts district. So really, we are this world-class space in the middle of downtown Mesa, and we have a huge goal of being an active member of the community. So at the Mix Center, because we do have these three graduate programs, we also house the undergraduate film program. And so we have a lot of varied technology and spaces, but just to name some, we have 2 screening theaters. We have a Dreamscape pod and a classroom that are close to opening here, hopefully soon. We have the enhanced immersion studio, sound stages, and production spaces as well. We have a prototyping lab, a fabrication lab, production shop. We have a full-scale recording studio. You saw a photo of the outdoor movie screen. The lobby space is all meant for student work, as well as we are an official event space. So to promote any kind of events or student work that we're showing, an ideation studio, and then a community meeting space. So one of the big features that we have in our space is that we do have a community advisory board who is made up of the members of the demographics of our downtown Mesa community, and they're here to help us to ensure that we are active and productive members of this downtown Mesa community. So just to talk a little bit more about some of the features that we have here and some of the pieces of technology that go really well for our grad programs, as well as the Worlds for Change contest. Right now we are opening a Dreamscape Learn space where we'll be featuring already developed learning experiences for students to have. So this will be the largest Dreamscape space on the any of the ASU campuses. I believe the space that you can see in the picture on the left will have 32 separate spaces where students and instructors can work in a shared AR, VR type of space. One of the really cool things, though, that we're doing here too, and again connects with this Worlds for Change as well as our grad programs, is that not only can we have our students experiencing these different types of learning opportunities, but also creating them themselves. So we're not only a part of or can be a part of the design and implementation of different types of learning experiences for our own graduate students, for them to develop their work, but also potentially develop for some of our other learning experiences on the ASU campus. So this is a really unique option for our students in the space.
And then, of course, in Los Angeles, we also have a master's program. It's a Master's of Arts called Narrative and Emerging Media, and it's led by VR pioneer who's really known in the field as the godmother of virtual reality, Nani de la Pena. And so she sort of pioneered the field of immersive journalism. And for that degree, it's a little bit more focused on that. It's kind of filmmaking, but using all of these emerging technologies in order to bring audiences into the narrative, embody it, feel it, empathize with it. And that's a joint program between the film school and the Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Housed in the amazing downtown Los Angeles historic Herald Examiner building, which has been completely kind of remodeled inside and outfitted for filmmaking and immersive technology. They have, an LED stage. They have all sorts of studios and production facilities designed for kind of future of storytelling. Here's a shot of their LED stage in action and just a few of the kind of facilities details out there. Of course, NEM is located there, the production volume. They've just launched a new lab called Haptics for Inclusion. So sort of delving into haptics instead of video games and the sort of latest shoot 'em up. How can we bring this to people with disabilities or help bring those experiences out for general population? They have an ideation lab where they work with industry partners across Los Angeles. Cronkite is of course located there. And all of their sort of associated studios and control rooms. And then they have a beautiful event space located in that historic building. I'll just pause quickly to see if there's any questions on the graduate programs and XRts before we dive right into Worlds for Change Challenge. Great. So Worlds for Change Challenge, of course, is our world building contest.
There was one question I think that came in last second, just to note.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yep, looks like when is the deadline to apply? So we will talk a little bit about that, but January 15th of 2024 is the deadline. Oh, for the degree programs. So our priority deadline for the degree programs is also January 15th. It coincides with the Worlds for Change contest. And we will talk a little bit about this as well when it comes to what the contest entails and how it goes along with the degree programs. But so our priority deadline for the degree programs is January 15th, but then we will continue to accept applications through generally the end of June, just to give students enough time to, if we have international students who have a visa situation or things like that. And yes, they are 2-year degree programs, though, Stephanie, the LA program, is that one?
It's a 1-year program, although some of the students have continuing a little bit longer. So right now it's designed to be a 1-year program.
And similarly with the MESA programs, they are all designed to be a 2-year program, though we have had some students express interest in completing in 3 semesters instead of 4. Though I will say all of our students who started the program in its inaugural year last year, I want to say a few of them were very motivated to have it done within 3 semesters. And after their first semester, they all decided to extend through the 2 years to take advantage of their access to faculty and to all of the opportunities within the space. I think a year and a half sounded like it was going to be a little bit too short to give them the full experience, but they're designed to be 2-year degrees.
Megan, we have a couple more questions on the degree programs themselves, length, and then requirements. I know all the requirements can be found. We can provide links direct to all of those program sites as well that have the requirements.
Yeah, absolutely. A kind of generalized answer, depending the 2 Herberger programs, so the design, immersive experience design and the extended realities, those will all require a portfolio. The Futures in Design degree does not, but they do require a resume, a statement of intent where students talk about what they're interested in and how it connects with the degree programs. And then letters of recommendation, 3 letters of recommendation they come with as well. When it comes to portfolio submission, we'll talk about that a little bit in kind of what we're looking at for the contest as well, because those 2 do go together. So we'll cover that in a few more slides, and if you still have questions at the end. But as far as tuition goes, as Steph's going over the Worlds for Change, I'll put a link here in the Q&A for tuition rates, because they differ depending on students' locations.
Great. So moving on to Worlds for Change Challenge. Worlds for Change is a world building contest where we're trying to inspire aspiring XR creators to prototype their visions of the future for the chance to win a scholarship to one of the 4 new programs that we just went over. And we are also going to be giving away multiple cash prizes of up to $1,000 each. So again, we'll be providing this deck with all of these links in here at the end of this session. So everybody can kind of go back and look through these and send us any more questions as well. But prizes, grand prize, and multiple cash prizes. So it's worth it for everybody to apply who may not be like immediately thinking about stepping into the grad programs, because you could win one of the runners-up prizes. The overview of how to apply is essentially dream of this future. You're going to be given a prompt, which we'll go over shortly, that you want to envision using immersive technologies, XR, another type of experience. And then you're going to try your hand at actually putting together a creative prototype or sample of that. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be final. These types of projects take potentially more than a year, multiple years to create. So it's really about your concept and about putting together a creative prototype that helps us understand what that idea is. And of course, you're going to submit that by January 15th. So to dig into the prompt, I'll read this and then let everybody dig in here, but it's very open-ended about imagining the future. So show us a moment of everyday life in the future from a world that you would like to see. What sort of changes, could you envision to improve our social and natural world? How would you want to convey this using XR technologies? So it's a very open-ended prompt, but the idea of us putting that moment of everyday life in a future that you imagine is to spur you to think about issues that you care about solving, more so than we're asking everybody to produce some sort of sci-fi project. It is open-ended, it's up to you, but we wanted to keep it realistic, potentially in that future that you want to envision with these technologies.
One of the questions that I get a lot too from students who are coming from maybe a more non-traditional background, like a lot of our students will come from, you know, a user experience or design or kind of that more of engineering, but we do have a lot of students from many different types of fields and students who are interested in developing these types of technologies to impact these different types of fields. So a lot of the things that we have listed here, as far as what would you like to see changed in what the environment looks like. So we have a lot of students who are interested in using this technology for education, students who are interested in using this technology for healthcare. We have 2 students currently who are looking to implement almost like a biometric for physical therapy and training, because one of our students, their background is in speech therapy. So we're definitely not limited to only like a design focus or that kind of coding or engineering, and it certainly does not just have to be limited to entertainment as well, which I think tends to be kind of at the top of the list when people are thinking about this kind of technology. So this is an exciting way to reach members who maybe are coming from more of what we would consider a non-traditional kind of background, and a way to kind of think about how you would use that technology in this space.
So when you're dreaming about that prompt, and getting ready to craft your concept, there's going to be 2 requirements for submission. Once you click on the application and go down that route, you'll discover that it's a Google form, and you will have to respond to a few short answer questions just to tell us about the world that you imagine. So this list here is not exhaustive. You can find, even before you get started on the application, this link to the application overview and instructions that has all of them, but it's really just short answer to tell us the details, because we are asking you to really dig in and kind of think through elements of the world. What story you imagine unfolding? Where is it? How far is it in the future? What had to happen for us to get there? Who's the audience for this world? For whom would it be a powerful experience? And of course, what sort of technologies are you excited to explore, or would you be excited to learn through one of these graduate programs to actually create this world? So again, when it comes time to produce your creative sample, which is your kind of part 2 to accompany telling us about the world, we know you wouldn't have gone through these programs yet, so you may not already be an expert in building for game engines or development, but it's really about using the creative tools that are already at your disposal to help us visualize and understand what your concept is. So creative sample, your entry can be in literally any creative format. We've listed a few here, but it's very open-ended, and you'll provide a link to that sample as the final submission in the Google form for your application.
And if the scholarships are the prizes that you're going for, then you will have to be accepted and admitted into one of the programs, which also do require some type of portfolio creative sample. So you can certainly use the same for both the contest and the applications. The Futures in Design program does not require a portfolio, but of course, if you do have something that you've worked on, you're welcome to submit along with the application.
Yeah, we're hoping this makes a great contribution to your portfolio that can be submitted along with your graduate application. And of course, the deadline for the contest is January 15th. That's by 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, which gives us an extra hour here in Arizona. That is, yeah, Megan, again, that's aligned with the graduate deadline, correct?
Yeah, our priority deadline, which is pretty standard across the board for most graduate programs. Of course, we will accept additional applications after that particular deadline, but if you are interested in the contest, then this is something that this is the deadline that you would have to meet.
And we will announce the winners by March 2024 because we're actually having a winners announcement event at South by Southwest, which is the first week of March. ASU XRts is going to be the presenting sponsor of the XR experience at South by Southwest. And so we'll have an activation there and we'll be throwing a party. So just to give an example, I've had a lot of people ask, okay, but the prompt is open-ended. What is a world for change? Well, I like to give this example that was an amazing project coming out of one of our first round of Los Angeles-based students, Cameron Kostopoulos, who is graduating now, but was in the one-year MA program under Nani de la Pena. His project, Body of Mine, is a VR experience that literally allows you to embody another gender. And it's sort of a documentary where you hear the narratives and interviews from trans people. So it's very powerful. But his concept, you know, he had this concept and he was working on it since undergrad, and it's evolved incredibly. He has won a ton of awards with this already, so it was an amazing coming out project. So you can check out the links. I have the link to his trailer on here. But really them presenting this as conceptually what is, you know, what is an idea that would speak to a change, you know, a change inspiring concept. Do we expect you to present us with a concept that will immediately, you know, win the festival circuit like that? Absolutely not. We are expecting, you know, you to do your best and to tackle that creative sample with, you know, the best of your abilities in whatever format that works for you. So of course, the contest is open to any recently completed or current undergrad student, as well as, you know, graduates who are early to mid-career professionals who are interested in potentially upskilling or pursuing future media careers. So if you want to win one of the grand prizes, you have to be, you know, eligible to apply for the graduate programs. But if you're just looking towards the cash prizes, then it's, I would encourage everybody to apply.